philosophy and the financial commitment we have made to this spiritual community, we officially moved into peace. I wasn't supposed to start this soon. We officially moved into the CCRS Learning Center. It is a 2-room office suite, larger than our previous space, where we can continue to offer classes, host gatherings, have meetings and various events, provide the youth ministry with a welcoming and consistent place for their Sunday lessons. The larger of the 2 rooms, the classrooms, continues to be called the Sage Room, while the smaller room has been dubbed the Library. It is our learning center. It didn't take too long for all the furnishings to be moved from the 2nd floor of the building to the lower level, thanks to the strong arms and backs of a few key individuals: Bob Collins, Phil Tapp and his daughters, Veronica and Mary, Reverend Mike, Carrie Clark, and myself. I think it took longer to hang the artwork on the walls than it did to move the furniture into place. But once everything was in place, practitioner Irene McKnight blessed the space with a prayer and sage ceremony, followed by a time for Reverend Mike and I and Irene to sit down and just look at what an accomplishment this space means. To me, this is where it was supposed to start. And how far we've come in the past 4 years. I would do a little happy dance throughout the day, and it goes kind of like this. Now, you get to either stand up or stay seated, it works either way, but throughout the service today, we're going to be doing the happy dance. So, Chris is going to help in the background here. So just kind of, there's no singing involved, by the way. So it's just kind of, so every time I say happy dance, that's what we're going to do. Now the timing of this expansion couldn't be better, right at the beginning of the season of gratitude. And who knew it would be cause for sporadic, spontaneous dances of happiness and joy. Just 8 months ago, we moved into our first dedicated classroom, thinking we would be there for at least a year, maybe 3. And now, quite obvious to all of our students, we've outgrown it. Yay! Happy dance! The smaller 2nd floor space is a lovely office, the space that we used to occupy. In my mind, and I know in the mind of God, it's already rented to someone else. It's done, complete. The person who is moving in just doesn't know it yet. And that will give us some time to prepare it for them, to get it cleaned up, patch the walls so the landlord can repaint it. We can get our mail forwarded, those little remaining details, and we can bless its release. That first space was a leap of faith for us back in February. It matched the mental equivalent we had as a board at that time, and our belief about what rent we could pay. The mental equivalent has now changed since a year ago. It's grown. And the circumstances and the budget have changed since a year ago as well. The combination of this congregation's financial generosity and the prudent decisions of our trustees, the stewards of the abundance, allow us to grow one positive step at a time. There have been and continue to be many prayers for the positive welfare of this church. And we are also doing our part, taking action. Treat and move your feet. The smaller space was not a mistake. It was not a failure. It was a necessary step in the evolution that allowed us to step into the world of commercial leasing in a systematic and responsible manner. We have been able to build a relationship with the owner of the building, the landlord, such that he is as happy to have us there as we are to be there. It's mutually beneficial and positive for everyone, and I'm so grateful for this relationship. This new, larger space in the same location, so we didn't have to transport to another building or a different part of town, takes us one step closer to knowing what it's like to have a church campus. Part of the vision I hold for CCRS, as do members of our board. This is a milestone that we can place on our vision board, and from which we can advance to the next step, raise the mental equivalent. Once again, happy dance. Oh, now you're not standing up. Also this past weekend, on Friday evening, CCRS participated in a local community event by hosting a movie in the Main Street Center, this building behind us. It was attended by members of our church. Now, I believe we did everything we could to promote this event all over town. During the event, Aaron, bless her heart, was handing out flyers to the people in line. We had black arrows taped to the sidewalk all the way to the door. We did what we did. We made good efforts to market and advertise the event and our part in it. And the people who were there, who attended, had a good time. Did we attract hundreds of kids to the movie? No. Our new Parker family is going to flock to our Sunday services based on this one event. Perhaps not based on the actual attendance numbers that we witnessed, but you never can tell. Who knows what the ripple effect will be in the future? Would we do this event again in this manner? Doubtful. Was it a failure? Absolutely not. The people who were there had a good time. I got to work with Erin, one of our congregants, and it was fun. We had great food, and lots of it. And you get to share some of it today. Nothing goes to waste. Folks shared some ideas of other possibilities that we can do in the future for our youth and adults for events like this. And we learned we won't do it this way again next year. I finally come to the conclusion, after years of attempted but unsuccessful negative brainwashing by Naggy Maggie, that there are no real failures in life. And I'm going to say that again. There are no real failures in life. There are some things that don't quite work out the way I think they might at that particular time or in a certain way. So I've come to accept that I must adapt, try new things, change what I do, maybe change how I look at something or someone, or what I think. My thoughts, my thinking a certain way about the way an outcome appears is what makes it a failure in my mind, or just another learning opportunity. The Science of Mind textbook states, if one appears to have failed, he should realize that there are no failures in the universe. He should completely erase the idea of failure by stating that there are no failures. That's simple, right? There are no failures. No matter what Naggy Maggie's saying over here. When events or projects don't work out to the initial perfection of my human mind, that's my cue to wait and see how they do work out after a while, after time has passed and God has some space to create for good in my life, to turn a misattempt into a success. When I show a little patience, stay open at the top, look for the good, I'm always pleasantly surprised and never disappointed. It's quite interesting to see how spirit turns gunk into good. It's when we hang on to how we think things are supposed to be, or are unwilling to change and evolve, that we remain stuck, that we cling to the idea that we are failures. Or through those beliefs, we continue creating more of the same experiences and results. teach through Science of Mind is that as you ask and believe, you will receive. Ernest Holmes goes to great lengths in his writings to provide numerous examples of affirmations and prayers and treatments and ways to change your lower level thinking and your words into positive ones and higher consciousness. By making such changes in thinking and speaking, you have the opportunity to turn a perceived failure into a success, or a bad situation into a good one. It's your perception that makes it so. Here's an example from Holmes that could be applied to nearly any decision, including the recent ones we made to secure the larger space. He writes, I am surrounded by right action. I am filled with the consciousness of right action. Right action is success in all that I undertake to do. I am successful in all my undertakings, and I am compensated for all my efforts. I am surrounded by substance, which is always taking the form of supply and always manifesting itself to me in the form of whatever my need may be at the time. The efforts that were put forth to secure the new lease were made in a timely and orderly manner, with ease and grace. No forcing, no rushing, except for the calendar date we were targeting. The efforts put forth for the Halloween event were many and shared by several people for the specific purpose of creating a fun and relaxing time. We did that. We were successful in that endeavor. And the thing is, there was fun and joy and happiness all along the way, through the entire process of creation. And that's where the growth occurs, not just in the end result. Happy dance. Now, a week ago, I got to be the substitute teacher in Reverend Mike's Science of Mind Fundamentals 101 class. One of the things I invited the students to do was to explore their own beliefs in order to gain a clearer understanding about how those beliefs become manifested through thoughts and words and actions. As is the case with Spirit working through me, when I make a suggestion out there, I often get to look in here for the very same thing. What came up for me since making that invitation are two beliefs I have, which help to shape how I live, move, and work in the world, and that allow me to do the happy dance at the soul level, at the God level, on a regular basis. A belief that surfaced and continues to be tested through my ministerial responsibilities is a belief in accountability. To me, that means meeting project deadlines, doing and what I say I'm going to do, and when. Being accountable is as demanding as it is rewarding. So I have to be cautious when I obligate myself to. I was speaking with someone recently and proudly stated that throughout my entire corporate career, there were only 2 deadlines that I could remember ever missing. Just 2. And I took responsibility for them and corrected them as soon as possible. However, since becoming a minister, I've recognized the number has increased. I've experienced personal missed deadlines more often than I care to admit. Sometimes for seemingly little things. Certainly not for the Sunday morning sermon, but at times for something significant enough to me that it requires burning the midnight oil to get it done as promised. I've learned to accept forgiveness for myself as well as from others, and to stop beating myself up when I do miss a deadline or if it affects the goals of the team. I'm also learning not to overpromise what I think I can do. What is it they say? To undersell and overdeliver. There are some things that I'm just not as fast doing as I used to be, like moving furniture. I'm getting better at asking for help and letting certain things go, non-essential tasks to me, things I can get along without doing, or hire someone to do it for me, like house cleaning and yard work. I'm also starting to say no on occasion. The second belief that was recently reignited in me is a belief in commitment. A person came into my life recently, and she helped me get in touch with being committed more to myself, to my life's vision. I'm grateful for that awareness and her presence. Because when I make a commitment to someone, or to an organization, or to an appointment, or to a project, it's with a knowing that I care about it deeply. Not only is being accountable to the specifics important to me, but there's a soul connection to the cause behind the project or outcome. Simply put, I care about it. Just like I cared about the Halloween event and moving into the classroom space by yesterday and getting it all set up so that the children could use it this morning. It didn't matter that 1,000 other things were involved in getting these projects toward their completion, or that there were other tasks needing to be done simultaneously, like write a sermon. Let me ask you, what would you have felt about my accountability or my commitment if I came here this morning and said, I did so much this weekend, I'm really tired, I didn't have time to write a sermon. Let's just chat. You understand. Probably not. I would guess your confidence in me would be diminished, at least. Maybe some of you, as I've been told, would feel shattered. This is too important to me, to this church, to let such things go. It takes a commitment to all of these creations. So for me, that means doing whatever I can with what I have to the best of my ability until the stated outcome is either achieved or changed. These two beliefs that I refer to as accountability and commitment are important in the realm of the physical world, the material world, and they're important in the spiritual world too, when working with the law of mind. For example, we are accountable for what we create in our lives, especially when we do it consciously. We are responsible for what we say and think and do. No one does it for us. Your words and your thoughts belong to you. You are accountable for them, so use them well. Once you become aware of this law of mind, this law of creation, and your part in it, there's no more excuse, no more blame for why things are the way they are. When you accept such responsibility, expand your awareness, your consciousness, and put this new way of doing things into operation, life changes. Then it's up to your commitment level as to how far you take it. How much good are you willing to accept? How much life do you desire to experience? What are you willing to do or create with what you have? And then when you have more, what will you create next? What are you committed to? In the Bible, Matthew chapter 7, Jesus talks about how the tree can only bring forth fruits for which it is. So, for example, that a good tree can only produce good fruit, and a corrupt tree, corrupt fruit. Holmes interprets this to mean that we are held accountable for the very words which we speak. By our words, we are justified or condemned, and through his thought. You are accountable for what you think, say, and do, based on your commitment to creating something in particular. Those thoughts and words have power to complete the effort, to co-create with God. Or if the commitment, the passion is absent, they won't create, at least not as powerfully or as definitely as when you're focused. So much good has been created and shared in my life, especially lately. It's showing up at warp speed. If I had any doubts about how the science of mind works, those doubts are long gone. Believe me, I am so excited, renewed with great expectations about what to create next, what vision is next. I can't wait to see how Spirit shows up. It's really not a complicated process to create the life you choose. And I've broken it down into 5 steps. Number 1, faith in your partnership with the divine and in yourself. You are a partner with God. You're a team in co-creation. Number 2, a positive attitude of gratitude at all times, not just when things are going well. Number 3, the willingness to ask, to declare what you want with as much clarity as you can and with room for Spirit to make it even better for your highest good. Number 4, focus your actions, your attention on the intention and keep moving forward, doing your part with commitment and accountability to yourself and to the life you choose to create. Because consciously or unconsciously, you will still create a life. One thought, one word, one action step at a time. And then number 5, receive your good. Welcome it into your life with open arms. Yes, this and more, please. Simple, isn't it? And exciting. The possibilities are unlimited. So what will it be? God is our source. Our source of abundance and energy and ideas and creative talents and so much more. I'm thankful in advance for all the good we have and that we are, for what we get to do and experience. What a wonderful way to start out the season of gratitude. Don't worry, be happy. And one more time, we get to do the happy dance.